guys, how's it going? I am so excited for today's project. We are installing a fountain in the cut flower garden, and it's a big one. It's 3 pallets worth. Look at this, oh my gosh. So this is part of the basin. It's just kind of the shell, the watertight portion. There are little pieces, like stone pieces, that go around the outside and kind of sit over the top of this. Everything will make a little bit more sense once we have it set up. But in the end, like this right here is 89 inches. In the end, it will be 104 inches from one side to the other. It's gonna be so gorgeous, and I think it's gonna be the right scale. That's the thing, that's a pretty large space. So we really, it took a long time making the decision on what to put in there. In fact, we even went back and forth, like, should we put a fountain in there or should we cut out the grass and plant it? I don't know, we just kept landing back on water. Water adds such a peaceful, relaxing element to the garden that I think we're really gonna enjoy it. So we just need to get these pallets picked up and taken over to where we're gonna set it up. Do you want me to take you over to the tractor?
Yeah. I'll have to take the tiller off.
Do you? Okay. Paul and Aaron have been working on tilling and prepping the soil back here for grass. Would you like me to apply my brawn? Oh, you got it. Okay, Aaron's gonna go grab the rest of the pallets and I'm gonna start removing packing material. I believe this is the first piece we have to place. You can see at the base here, there's the cork, and that's where the pump cord runs down through the bottom. So you don't have any cords, you know, having to flop over the side. And what we're gonna do, we have electrical right over here by that hose link. Today we're just gonna put an extension cord out, and then we've got electricians coming next week to get everything all up to code and run properly. But for today, just to get it up and running, we'll just be doing the extension cord. But they did a beautiful job on the base here. I can stand back. So centered in this area, we did a bunch of driving around this last night as well, and it's super easy to maneuver around. So I don't think we are planning on doing any kind of flower bed around it. We're just gonna have grass go straight up to the fountain. So let's remove some of this plastic and stuff. Now that the plastic's off, you can see that this is just like a little pool that goes inside all the stone pieces. Otherwise, I can't even imagine having a concrete basin that's all one piece. That would be really hard to ship and move. So it's nice to have this one, which, I mean, it's not lightweight, but it's definitely not like concrete. Anyway, this is in the color, looks like gray stone. Okay, little update here. We've got pretty much everything out. You can see the color of the fountain right here. We always go with a natural concrete color because we deal with hard water staining so bad. I love all the other finishes, and I've done it before. In our townhouse garden, I had a fountain in the back that was a larger fountain, and it was really darkly colored. but I had to stain it like 3 times a year in order for it to look good. And even in between, like it would start looking a little bit crummy, and I would wait until it got really crummy looking before I stained it. So we just try not to have things where we have to fight that. Natural colored concrete, the hard water staining just is a little bit more masked. Here's a picture of the fountain. It's called the Newport Fountain, and I've actually never had a Campania piece before. And we're not working with the company or anything. We didn't even order this through my parents' garden center because they typically don't or haven't brought in Campania pieces for quite a long time. We just ordered this through the company. But I think it's gonna be just the absolute right look out here. It's gonna be the right scale. We went with a fountain that was a little less ornate. You can see it's got clean lines, which both Aaron and I really wanted for out here. You can see these are the pieces that the little pool will go in. So these will just kind of line up along the outer edge, giving it that huge, very wide appearance. And honestly, you can sit on that. All these pieces are so heavy. But right now, Aaron and Paul ran to the barn to grab some conduit because that's our next step. The whole getting the infrastructure set up is always the most tedious part. The rest of the assembly will go really quick once we do that. We got the pump out to determine how long the cord was. We determined it's not long enough to make it to where we want a plug-in. So we're gonna probably need to put a plug-in right on the outside of the fountain, and we chose to put it on this side because it's the least visible. So we're going to trench from the center where the cord comes out down, and then just right out here to where the electricians can put a box in. And we will have drip tubing and power through that conduit. And the cork in the center, they had another one in with all the little pieces and parts. It has a double hole, which is awesome. So the drip tube and the pump cord can come up through the bottom, and I don't have to home make a cork for that. So Paul's got the conduit right there. What size is that, like 2 inch?
2 inch.
Yeah. So this will be what the power and water runs through, just a fairly short distance. They're gonna start digging. I'm gonna run and grab a reciprocating saw so we can cut the pipe. What's the next step then? Are you going to do the sides?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so I've got a longer board here, and I did check to see that this one was level on a flat surface. That way, when we get our side pieces put around the bowl, because they're individual, so we're gonna have to level each one to each other, we'll be able to run the board from one side to the other, and then we can put the level on it. So we just had to make a third hole in one of these corks. This is a cork that it came with, and it came with 2 holes for 2 pump cords. But in order to hook up the float, which also comes with it, you have to run this tube up through it. Plus the light cord.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so we're gonna try to fit all 4 of those things in this cork. Everything will feed through the bottom. We'll silicone it and hope for the best.
Okay, well, 2 pumps, apparently, plus the water. I don't know why they couldn't send a plug that had 4 holes in it.
I know.
I don't know.
I feel like all fountains, there's always one thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whose it is.
Right. It's just, it's not, it never has exactly what you need.
Right.
If we didn't do the lights and we didn't do the water, the like automatic water feeder, this would have been fine. But anyway, so we got the 2 pumps, the lights, and then the water.
Have you figured out, so the one pump pumps water into the bigger bowl, and then one of them pumps it all the way to the top?
I think that's the way it is.
Okay.
We'll find out as we get there.
Uh-huh.
You know, reading the instructions, there's not enough pictures, and it's like math word problems.
Uh-huh.
You know, when you do that in school, I hated those.
Oh, did you?
Like, I just want to see the numbers or show me pictures or whatever,
Yeah.
but
No trick questions.
Word problems are junk. I don't like that. So now we're gonna just start putting it together.
So the middle piece is this big square chunk right there. It's really heavy. So they're going to put that in first, and that's kind of the housing for all this before they put the sides on, because, you know, just in case they got wild and swung it around and chipped one of the sides. I don't know.
We made these long, by the way,
Uh-huh.
so that when they inevitably stop working and you got to bang them on the side, you've got quite a bit of
Sure.
length to pull.
And since it doesn't reach all the way anyway,
Yeah,
that
there's still a
cord-
lot of cord out here. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
How about the water float? Does that come up high enough?
we don't really have any. We can't pull it any farther. It's just that's how far it is.
Okay.
So
All right. I guess the float will go up higher, right? And I don't know how that works exactly. This is the little piece with the float right here. So this will attach to the tubing somehow, I'm guessing.
no, I think it's like a toilet. I think it'll sit like this. Maybe you need to put this to stand on something and get it to the right water level. And when the level is
Oh, there you go.
when
Yeah.
the level's up, it like blocks the flow of water.
Sure.
But then when it starts to go down, it opens up the flow of water. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So it's down like this, water will go through.
Yeah.
And as the water level rises, it'll pinch and
Gotcha.
stop letting water through.
Gotcha. Oof, man. Oh, perfect. Look at that. The guys got all of the base pieces put around the fountain, so we are heading out to get it filled up and turn it on. Oh, you know, the scale could not be more perfect for this area. So they were just telling me how hard it was without having a concrete base poured here. I just did sourdough. Should have cleaned my hands better. But anyway, it's really hard to get all of these side pieces to match. You know, you shim one up and then so you need to shim up the next one, which makes you need to do the next one and so on and so forth. And you could just keep going round and round. I hope that once water is in here, you don't notice that the color of the bowl is different than the color on the outside. Maybe that doesn't matter. This is actually gray stone, which is what I thought the fountain was going to look more like. So anyway, I'm going to position the lights around, like maybe put them in thirds here, and then we'll get it filled and turned on.
Mom, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I think we're ready to turn it on. Pump number 1. I don't know which one this belongs to. Pump number 2. I hear it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
That one.
And lights.
Well, it's pretty good. The top pump.
Now I should turn the lights on. Are they like a sensor thing?
They're on. I see that one.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
on?
they're on.
Oh. Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Looks pretty good.
What do you kiddos think?
It got hot.
It did, didn't it? Oh, that is beautiful. The way the water comes down. Okay, here it comes into the bottom bowl. Uh-oh. You want out, babe? Here, let's set that one in there. You want out?
It's coming down.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's beautiful. So the cords are coming out of the conduit right there. There's a little water at the bottom just because we rinsed off these pieces and such. But for now, until we have more of a permanent solution until the electricians come out. I'm just gonna wrap up all of the cords inside this garbage bag. This is what we used to do at the nursery all the time. And I'm gonna duct tape it all together so that it keeps the moisture out of it, and I'll just tuck it up under the fountain piece right here.
The good news is that
Okay, so we're just gonna tuck that stuff right here. This cord goes all the way over to the plug in there. This is temporary. Well, one thing's for sure, the kids are loving it. And it looks really pretty. I love the sound. I love the shape. And the only piece that we struggled with, and it wasn't really a struggle, we just had to figure it out, was the cork and making sure that we had access for all of the cords that needed to come up through the bottom of the fountain. So after we got through with that, I mean, it just took a lot of muscle. Of course, you saw Paul and Aaron basically set this whole thing up. We helped with a couple small pieces, or a couple of the larger pieces rather, where it took us, several of us, to lift it up, like the first bowl. But they did a fantastic job setting this up and excavating the area. It's just so fun to have it here. Oh my goodness. And the lights are on in there. I think what I'm gonna do is pop back out here this evening and I'll show you what the lights look like with the water running. All right, here is our night shot. It's absolutely beautiful. The sound of this fountain, the way the water moves. Oh, now we put all 3 lights in the bottom basin, and I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I feel like we should add a little bit more light to the top to illuminate the whole thing, or maybe we can kind of fuss with the lights down there and how they're positioned and pointed to get more of the top of the fountain showing, but honestly doesn't matter, because as you're driving through the property this time of night, you get to see this glow, not just from the flower shed over there, that warm glow, but you get to see this brilliant glow with movement, with the moving water. It's just amazing. All right, guys, it is a new day. The lights last night were so awesome, and Erin was trying to look on their website to see if there was any guidance as to how the lights should be placed, or if you could buy extra lights, because I did notice at the end of the run, because you connect all the lights together, that it appears that you can add more to it. So if we could add more to the end and then, you know, string it up through the fountain so that the rest of the bowls have light, I think that would be really beautiful, but I'm happy with it as is. The most beautiful time though with this fountain was right when the sun was going down and you could see that light through the water. It was just like the most glorious, sparkly, beautiful thing. And now that it's set here all night, you can kind of see what the splatter is like, which we wondered. You know, there's no individual spillways. The other fountain we have, the larger one, has like little notches where the water is meant to come out, and this one's just meant to be level so that it can come out in all directions, which I absolutely love. I think the sound is amazing, but we just didn't know if it would splatter a whole lot. And it looks like it's kind of hitting the top, which makes it the color I want. I like. This, you know, still a little bit lighter than I thought it was based on the picture on the website. The sprinklers that water this grass are gonna hit the side of this thing every single day, and it's gonna be this light white color anyway. So we're probably better off having it be a little bit lighter to begin with. It'll kind of blend in and we might not even notice the hard water. And now that it's been sitting here, even just for the short amount of time that it has, we've been able to drive around it enough to know that it's very easy to navigate around. It's also the right scale. It either needed to be something really big, or we could have possibly done with something maybe even without a basin, as long as we had planted around it. I just think it's the perfect size area. So now that we know that, we can have a concrete pad poured under it, like we did with our other fountain, which is not this big, but it's a pretty good sized fountain up by the front of the house. And that way you can ensure that it's not gonna settle. You can also ensure that it's going to be level. Which Paul and Aaron, I mean, they worked so hard on this yesterday, and this part, Aaron said, was the hardest. It wasn't like lifting these pieces, it was trying to get these all leveled to each other. So they did it to where, I mean, I think it's pretty dang good. Looks really great. But having it on a concrete pad would mean that you wouldn't have any like irregularities here, and the pieces wouldn't shift. Also, this is the water that we put in there yesterday. We haven't topped it up at all. So that's really good to know in terms of splattering and splashing and how much water loss you're gonna have as well. You know, if it was splattering a lot or, you know, whatever, we probably have lost a lot more water than that. I see Samantha was playing with a stick in here yesterday. Got it. Blah. Anyway, I am just so happy with this fountain. We had our moments yesterday with the color, not knowing if it was going to be quite right, but turns out it's great. And honestly, the setup other than the pieces being so dang heavy, which we honestly want. We want heavy pieces because we get strong winds. Other than that, and then just having to sort of retrofit the cork at the bottom of the basin, it was a pretty slick process. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this fountain come together. It's just such a joy to see things come together for me, you know, in a space like this. I mean, we've gardened in this area. It's been 3 years now, right? 3 years in this space, and knowing that we wanted to do something like this, but not really sure, and just kind of waiting, you know, to pull the trigger on something. And it's just really nice to finally see something here like we had always kind of intended. Also, I think we were saying the company name wrong. We watched a couple of videos that they had of putting fountains together, and they were saying Campania. That sounds so fancy, Campania. We were like Campania, which is probably what I'll keep calling it. It's ingrained. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and we'll update you if we have any snags along the way or whatever, you know, as we get more and more experience with a fountain this size and a fountain with this sort of design. Hope you guys are all having a great day, and we will see you in the next video.